Hello, it's Jen from drjenbasir.com, and today we are talking about gut health and digestion. I am going to give you today 3 false beliefs that are contributing to the difficulties you're having with your digestion, and we're also going to talk about 5 things that you can do to improve your digestion. So when we talk about digestion, this is a very broad, global kind of thing. But the beliefs and the things that you can do to improve digestion apply to any particular symptoms or diagnosis that you might have. And when we talk about digestion, of course, I'm actually referring to your whole digestive system, but specifically for our purposes here today, we're talking about your mouth, your stomach, your small intestine, and your large intestine. And as we talk about these different things, I want you to think about the purpose of your digestive system. Your mouth and your stomach are responsible for starting the process of digestion, for breaking down your food, and then in your stomach, it gets passed on to your small intestine. In your small intestine, you're absorbing the nutrients that you need from your food, and then in your large intestine, you absorb the water and the salt, and then you get rid of whatever you don't need. So it's a process of taking in the things that you need that are going to benefit from you, allowing everything to flow through your system, and then releasing or letting go of the things that are not necessary or helpful for you. Keep that in mind as we talk about digestion. So if you're here, you're probably pretty familiar with signs and symptoms of digestion troubles because you have one or multiple of these symptoms. Things like constipation or diarrhea, gas, bloating, heartburn, anxiety, depression, mood swings, and brain fog can also be signs of digestion troubles. Skin issues, rashes, eczema, ringworm, these are also signs of trouble with your digestion. So there are a lot of symptoms that you can have that tell you that your digestion is out of balance. And if you have a specific disease or diagnosis, Chron's or colitis or irritable bowel, there are particular things you can follow for those diseases. But again, we're talking about digestion generally, which applies to all of those things as well. So let's get into 5 things that you can actually do to help improve and strengthen your digestion. Now, the first thing that I'm going to give you is the most important and the most critical one to follow. If you're only going to do one thing, this is the one that I'm going to recommend that you do. And suggestion number 1 is to eat mindfully. We are so fast-paced and we try to squeeze so much into our days now that we very often do not take the time to sit down for a meal. How often do you eat in your car, or do you eat in front of your computer or in front of the television? And these habits that we have formed make our digestion not work so well. It causes a lot of stress for our digestive system. And it takes away our awareness of what our bodies actually need and can interfere with your signals of when you're full. So I'm going to encourage you, even if it's just for one day, try for one day for all of your meals to sit down and do nothing but eat your food. Chew your food more than you normally do. That first step of chewing your food is critically important, and it will make the rest of the process go much smoother. Take your time as you're chewing your food. Very often, bloating and burping and belching are things that happen because we're swallowing too quickly, we're drinking too fast, we're chewing too fast, we're gulping our food down. So slow down and take your time to eat and enjoy your food. Not only will this help with your digestion, but it will help give you a better relationship with your food and your body. You'll start to know what you actually like and don't like and how things taste, and you'll have a better idea of when you're full. So that's suggestion number 1, eat mindfully. Number 2, don't overstuff yourself. This goes along with the first one. If you're not being very mindful when you're eating, it's very, very easy to overeat, especially if we eat in front of the television or the computer. So slow down a little bit and pay attention and notice when you're actually full and you start to receive those signals that you're full, and then stop eating. All right, suggestion number 3. Give your digestive system a rest. We tend to eat continually throughout the day in many cases, and we also tend to eat and snack at night shortly before bedtime. And when we do this, we don't really give our system a time to rest. So I want to encourage you to stop eating after dinner. No more snacking late at night, and make sure your dinner is at least 2 hours before you go to bed. And in addition to not eating late at night, you might consider, if your health will allow it, to fast occasionally. You can still drink your water, but take a break from food for a 24-hour period, or maybe even for half a day, and just let your system rest and give it a break. That was number 3. Number 4, many people have trouble with heartburn and reflux. And one of the reasons that's a problem is because we have an imbalance in the acid production in our stomach. And usually it's not actually that we have too much acid, it's that we have too little acid. So the way you can counteract this is by taking a supplement with digestive enzymes or taking bitters. Bitters is one of the tastes of your tongue, and the stimulation of the bitter sensation will help start the digestion process and facilitate the digestion of your food. So the digestive enzymes or bitters is something that you take either right at the beginning of your meal or 20 to 30 minutes before you eat, and it will help the process of digestion for you. And suggestion number 5 to help improve your digestion is to try an elimination diet. You might have some food allergies or sensitivities, which is another sign that you have digestion or gut imbalances. And a very easy way to determine if that's the problem without having to go get a bunch of testing done for allergies is to simply follow an elimination diet. And when you do this, you take all of the major offenders out of your diet for a certain period of time, and then slowly reintroduce them one at a time and notice how you feel and what happens. This means you need to eliminate dairy, wheat, soy, corn, eggs, and I would also eliminate nuts because they're very difficult for many people as well. So eliminate these things, and you say, well, Jen, what do I eat? Well, eat a lot of fruit, eat a lot of cooked vegetables, and eat meat and fish. And the reason I say cooked vegetables is because if you have digestion troubles, very often raw food is much harder on your system. It's harder to digest the raw food. So when you're doing your elimination diet, eliminate the salads and eat cooked vegetables instead. All right, so there's your 5 things that you can try to improve your digestion. And even if your digestion is fairly strong, most of these things, at least the first 4, will be very helpful for you in strengthening your digestion even further. And what thoughts came to you as we were talking about that related to absorbing and taking things in, taking what you need from them, the nutrients that we need, and then letting them go? Keep thinking about that, because the next thing is the 3 belief patterns that can be contributing to your poor digestion. There are specific ways of thinking that affect all of our systems within our body. And these 3 thought patterns can upset your digestion in different ways. So, number 1, the inability to assimilate and absorb or to take in things that are new in your life. The inability to take in new things. Number 2, wanting to live in the past. And number 3, the desire to stay in your comfort zone. So notice all 3 of these beliefs have to do with being more rigid and wanting things to be the way they are. And when that's the case, we are resisting the flow of life. And digestion is all about flow. Things have to come in, they have to move through your system, and then they have to be released. And you want that to happen not too fast and not too slow. It needs to happen at the right pace for you. So what difficulty do you have with allowing yourself to experience new things, or to accept things into your life, or even of letting go of things? So if you're not sure exactly where these issues arise for you, I've got a couple questions you can ask yourself. The first question is, what things do you have difficulty accepting in your life right now? Or if you've had some sort of, if you've got chronic problems with your gut health and your digestion, it may not be about something right now. It might be something that was a problem when you first were diagnosed or when you first started having problems. So if it doesn't seem to be an issue currently, look back to about 6 months or so before you started having your current symptoms or your disease was diagnosed, and ask yourself about that time frame. What was difficult for you, or what do you resist in your life? The other side of that, the next question is, what is it difficult for you to let go of? What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What do you no longer need? And the last question I want you to consider is specifically about your emotions. Your gut is strongly tied in to your emotions and your feeling, right? You think about having a gut feeling for something. And so often in our society, we ignore our gut and we go with our brain and with our logic. And we override the gut. And that's going to make your gut unhappy and be out of balance. So where do you have strong feelings of fear, of anxiety, or worry in your life? What signals, what emotional signals are you not listening to, or are you not allowing yourself to express? So think about, for your gut health, where are you stuck, essentially? Where are you resisting flow? What nutrients can you take into your life that will give you more life, more energy, more excitement? And what can you release and let go of that is stagnant, or that you've been holding on to and that no longer serves you? Your gut health and your digestion are tied into essentially all of your organs and all of your systems in your body, ultimately, because all of the nutrients that you take in have to be distributed and dispersed to your entire body. So there are many, many symptoms that you can have for your digestion, and all of us could stand to improve our digestion in one way or another. Try a couple of these things, both for your physical health and changing these false beliefs, and see how your digestion improves. As always, please comment, let me know what you learned from this, and I'd love it if you would share this with your friends. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.